and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stoppin'. Educating, entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in, let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. The Nate and Garrett Show.
And now, welcome to the Nate and Garrett Show. Prepare yourself to be transported to the furthest reaches of reality. As the hosts unravel the mysteries of the universe, the depths of the deep state, the truth hidden in plain sight, all while bringing you the news from this week. Please welcome your hosts, Nate and Garrett.
Garrett.
Dude, I like in that picture how they have both of us with steering wheels.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
It's like we're taking driver's ed and someone else is there.
You know, also, these semis, you might think they're dangerous, but we're driving the wrong way.
It's funny how AI is so good, but at the same time makes like really small mistakes that even like a 5-year-old wouldn't make.
Yeah, but
I'm
you
sure
know,
those days are gonna be gone soon, but it's just hilarious.
it is so good though, because this is kind of the picture we want, like both of us facing the audience. You know what I mean? Even though it doesn't make sense, it's like better than if it did make sense.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You
Yeah,
know?
you're right. You're right. If we're trying to be hyper realistic, we couldn't have really had a good picture. We're showing our point.
So, and I am
like it.
amazed by these cartoons it makes. It's just so good right away, you know?
Yeah. And you probably, I don't know if you've seen, but there was a big issue with like kids YouTube and stuff, that like these videos that were just kind of nonsense, like animations would get just millions and millions of views. They'd be raking in money. And it was almost, they're doing the Mr. Beast, what he did for adults. They're kind of doing that with kids. They're just finding out like, these are the weird shit that kids like at age 6 months to
I mean, like a thumbnail they'll click on.
Or even just like have a baby crying or a baby getting neglected or, you know, weird shit like that makes no sense. But for whatever reason, it just keeps kids just maybe get punted down the stairs by Minnie Mouse. Whatever reason, kids are just glued to it.
Interesting.
And, you know, I think it used to have a pretty high barrier where, you know, it's nonsense stuff. And it almost looks like bots are making it. But back then, when you're animating something, it would take, you know, a lot of time and probably a lot of money. So now I saw my kids were watching something on YouTube Kids, and you could tell it was AI because they'd have like a kid that had like a knitting thing, and like the needle would go to nowhere. It wouldn't make sense. Thinking, oh, you know, even if this was a weird animator out of India, they would know to put that to connect that string to the needle.
Make that mistake.
Where an AI still makes the mistakes, but it's just gonna lower that barrier. There's probably gonna be some weird videos for a while for the YouTube Kids.
Yeah, I bet you're right about that. As AI videos become more and more prevalent, there's gonna be some weird ones for a while.
And you know what Mr. Beast. You know, his brilliance that he did is, you know, it's almost like he was just autistic about like, okay, this is the type of, and there's kind of weird industries watching do it. He's like, this is the type of thumbnail people like. And if you watch any of his old videos, it's really weird because he has a scene cut very quick, and then it moves. You're like, you have like 4 different running themes in the videos. We're like, this one, we're gonna drop a semi truck in a pool and see how long we could try to drive. But they'll have like 3 other challenges, and they'll do like 20 seconds of this challenge, and they'll quick go to the next challenge for 20 seconds. It's almost like TikTok stole his idea of like, okay,
he like
quick 10-second videos.
Kind of, yeah. That's
Kind of.
He like made shorts.
And Yes. It seemed like his videos were all shorts before there was even shorts. And then he turns into just a billionaire from it. He was these weird ideas. I'll walk a marathon wearing clown shoes or weird shit like that. But just because they know how to hack the human mind, think how much better AI is going to be at that than Mr. Beast. That was one guy. Think when we have a superhuman AGI doing it.
Yeah. And then Mr. Beast's good friend turns himself into a woman, ruins his family. It's just a monster.
Leaves his kid, leaves his wife. Also he happens to be on one of the... Boy, that one feels very targeted to me. It's almost like, okay, we got to get one of the Mr. Beast guys.
I know. It does. It seems like the Illuminati came in there.
Yeah, it puts him in a weird spot. If he kicks him off or cancels him, then he gets canceled. It's like, oh, look at this guy's a transphobe. He's kicking his friend off. Yeah. You know, how weird. And then it turns out that he said a lot of weird shit to kids in the past, and he's been a groomer in the past.
Yeah. He put his baby in high heels. Remember that?
Yes.
A 1-year-old, he put him in high heels, and he's like, he's
so
slaying.
Luckily for Mr. Beast, that's his out. He said, oh, look, he's grooming 15-year-olds over Discord.
Oh, yeah, that too. I forgot about that. That's right. He got caught like sexting 15-year-olds.
What a weird coincidence that the one person that they were able to trans also happened to be a predator to young kids.
Oh, that's just a complete coincidence. That's a complete coincidence. There's no correlation there. We wouldn't say there was. Neither one of us would say there's correlation.
Yeah, because they tried to act like it was like a heartwarming thing. Chris is finding his true self.
They pushed that.
Look,
everybody was
big time
applauding that shit.
Yep, big time. And then it turns out that they had to backtrack on all of it because he was a pedo and a groomer and a pedophile and all of that, the trifecta there.
Yeah.
But speaking of Mr. Beast, did you see he's being attacked big time right now? He's raising money for water wells in Africa. People fucking hate it, apparently.
Yeah. I see stuff like one of the texts I saw said, we raised $12 million for charity. Biggest one ever. Mr. Beast posted that. And then somebody reposted it and said, this guy's evil. And I'm like, why? He's raising all this money for charity? I mean...
Like, come on. Evil?
Yeah, what do you want him to do? Until proven otherwise, he seems like a pretty good guy to me, still.
Yeah. You know what? The liberals hated him because they thought that silence was violence. They figured that he should have came out against Trump and all that. He's smartly... His brand, basically, is living off being apolitical. And he is kind of an apolitical guy. There's been some interviews where people have tried to talk politics and tried to say, like, hey, what do you think of YouTube demonetizing these people and TikTok? And he's been really, really a fence-sitter on saying, oh, they've been good to me. And they have been, obviously. He's turned the guy into a fucking billionaire.
Yeah.
So I think he's done a good job. I think it's a smart business move for him to be the most apolitical guy ever. But that pissed the left off. And
of course, they can't have that.
Pissed off about
they need complete allegiance.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, but as far as I'm concerned, seems like a good guy. We'll see. Maybe he's super. Anyone who's a billionaire, you ought to be a little like, we'll see. But as far as I can tell, all he's doing is like, he put a bunch of wells in Africa. He's doing good stuff. Right?
Yeah.
He gives people go to the dealership, pick a car. I like those kind of videos.
You know, I'm a big time capitalist. I think that making money, as long as you're not scamming people and you're not building yourself something else that you're not, I think it's a moral thing. I think, think how much lives he's made better by employing a bunch of people and whatever else he's done. I know he helped a lot of struggling restaurants during COVID with the Beast Burger and stuff. Obviously, he's making money on it too. But the economy's not a zero-sum game.
That's fine with
Two people could win on a transaction.
Yeah.
You come to me and say, hey, I need your service. Someone broke my window. I fix your window. And you say, hey, thanks. And I say, hey, that's $50. And you happily give me $50. I happily take it. We're both winners there. But there's a weird subset of people that act like I stole $50 from you. That's what they mean by zero-sum game. There's only so much money out there. And these guys are hoarding it. That leaves just a little bit of piece of the pie for us. when the reality is nothing like that, by the way.
Yeah.
So I think there's a part of that with it too, where there's some jealousy there.
Well, anybody watching,
gotta-
we've been having some issues with our audio. We tried to level it out
Yes.
today. So if one of us is way louder than the other one, let us know. We'll try to mess with it more. But
And it's so
whatever.
frustrating. That's a thing. I try to rewatch some of our segments. I mean, it's a little bit difficult because of it.
yeah,
What in the
yeah.
hell am I saying?
Well, we
there?
both got
And now
new
we have to worry too.
microphones.
Yeah.
We don't.
Well,
know
now we have
how
to worry
s-
too when we play videos.
It's level but
That's,
lower than usual.
that's what I wondered.
Yeah,
That's what I wondered just by that graphic.
yeah,
there.
we might have made
now
it a
I
little
think
quiet.
we're gonna, I think we're gonna blow out Adam and Stove's speakers here when we play the first video.
You're both pretty
Yeah,
quiet.
there it
Okay.
is, too.
What up, Adam and Stove and Box Bar?
Bye, sorry.
Let me think how we can turn this up. I actually don't
You
know
should
how we
Discord.
can do this.
Just go to Discord, turn us at 130%
Oh yeah.
instead of 100.
Audio levels on Ned Pepper.
Ned,
What up,
hey,
guys?
buddy.
Okay.
I don't know
let
if
me
you do that to
see here.
you. You could do it to me, but
Well. Let me
yeah,
think.
frustrating. I could turn my.
I don't know.
self up
I
a
guess we're
little,
gonna be
maybe.
kind of quiet
Yeah.
today because if I sit here trying to mess with it, it'll get all screwed up. We'll try to
Yeah.
fix it next time. We're terrible at this kind of stuff, but anyway,
Yeah.
I think we should get into some of the topics, Garrett. And why don't
Which
we
one do you
go
want to do
with-
first?
Let's go with the picture. Hang on.
Yeah, it's a good time. It'll be a quick one.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Trump, when he first got elected, he was kind of trying to take away CDLs from people that don't speak English? Do you remember that?
I was actually going to bring that up because I saw that a couple years ago.
Yes.
That they
Yeah,
were
well-
trying to make it so any truck driver had to be able to read English. And I remember seeing that. and
Kind of
think-
makes sense to me.
That's what I said. I remember seeing that and
Yeah.
going, you know what? I agree with this. If you can't read English, you shouldn't be driving a semi because there's lots of signs and whatever. You need to be able to
Trump
speak
actually,
English.
he went, and I think that was one that he signed an executive order on or was planning on it or whatever. I don't know if it did, but of course they called him, racist,
Yeah.
xenophobic, or whatever.
Yep.
But also, you've seen intersection in third world countries, but the rules of the road are basically none. Like you could probably just go on Google or go to YouTube and type in like China dangerous intersection or something. It'll be really crazy. People merging, not following any signs or anything like that. And that's kind of what happened here in this case. If you really think about it.
Adam and Stove said they should be able to read signs in English, not Moby Dick.
Yeah, they don't have to be
Right. They don't have to be literature, and English professors, but they ought to be able to understand the rules of the road here
Yes.
and not be driving like they're in India still. Unrelatedly, let's watch this video. Oh, yeah. By the way, here's a warning. There's a crash here, and some
Yeah.
people die in this crash, just so y'all know.
A whole family gets wiped off the face of the planet because of these fucking guys.
Here's this great truck driver just flipping an across the interstate U-turn.
This is on the interstate, and instantly these cars run into it because what the fuck is he thinking?
Well, he thinks he's still back in. Oh,
Yeah. Look at how little these guys care, too.
yeah. So a family of 3 died
Jesus.
right there. Look at this
Look
guy.
at- he just-
He doesn't care, dude.
He's annoyed. He's annoyed that he's worried that he's not going to get. I already missed my turn. God, this low is not going to get there in time.
Yeah.
That's what he's worried about.
Honestly, he's like his heart rate doesn't go up. He
No,
doesn't
look at him
give
here.
a shit that these poor people. This is, it's tragic, honestly.
Yeah, fuck this guy.
Yeah, what
Fuck
an
California
idiot, dude.
for giving him a CDL. He's an illegal immigrant, by the way. You would think a legal immigrant can't get a CDL. Well, apparently in California you can. So that's where, look at him right there. He's annoyed he's being recorded. By this time they know there's serious injuries, and he's going to care less.
Miggles says his complete lack of emotion is really disturbing. Yeah, it's hard to overlook that.
It does seem to be when life is super abundant and you live in those areas that are just overpopulated, it just seems to be not a commodity to
life is cheap.
overpopulated areas. Yeah, it really
it's
seems
kind of the
that
same
way.
thing as like Chicago, where 10 people get murdered on the weekend and they don't give a shit because it's
No.
just life's
But
cheap.
then
I
they'll
guess.
tell you that one of the worst days and bloodiest days in U.S. history is when a cop shot one of the people that came into January 6th that entered the hallowed halls on January 6th. That's one of the deadliest and biggest tragic days in U.S. history.
Yeah.
But the 19 people shot
Every weekend
in Chicago last night doesn't count.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Boxbar says, real safe having a guy driving 80,000 pounds when a 1985 diesel Toyota Helix is the largest vehicle he ever drove in the homeland.
I don't even know what that is, but it's so funny.
Yeah, but you know what? It is a good point. Like, this guy's driving a semi. Look,
Yeah.
how long have you been driving
California.
a
Yeah,
semi?
California
Days.
gives this guy a CDL. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
He's not even a citizen, and here he's just look at that face.
He just
He's
thinks
annoyed. He's being recorded.
and he thinks it's just okay to do an across the interstate U-turn because he missed his exit or whatever. You know what I mean?
And there's no U-turn signs everywhere on those.
Well, there doesn't even
All
have to
over
be though.
there.
Everyone already knows
Yeah,
you
you're
can't
right.
do that
You're right.
unless you're from India or wherever this
And Nate,
guy's from.
as you personally know, it's very hard to avoid hitting them.
Absolutely.
Is that your car
absolutely,
accident
yeah.
happened?
That's how I got in an accident. Guy did an over the lanes U-turn. It was just like this,
Jesus.
honestly.
God,
Except
and
it was
some
a
random
SUV
guy
model.
found your phone and called me and left a message saying, hey, this is a stranger. Your friend was just in a really bad car accident. I don't think he's okay. And you're the last person he called. I just wanted to let you know. I'm on my way to
Man,
work.
that's how you got. That's how you found that out. I didn't remember that, dude.
Yeah. So then I called around a bunch of hospitals saying, is there Nate Hayes there? One guy finally said yes. He's like, but he's not conscious. So you should get here if you know anybody.
Dang,
But
dude.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember one of the doctors or whatever said, yeah, they thought you died because there was so much blood. But that's just because I smashed my head on the
You know, the
steering wheel.
random guy that found your phone, he thought you were dead. I could tell.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
anyway,
so I was thinking, whoa.
that guy did an across the lanes U-turn just suddenly. He wanted to be going the other direction. So
And he
very
wasn't even
similar.
driving a semi.
No.
And you know
man.
that's gonna you'll hear people are sticking up for this just because liberals just have to be on the wrong. They have to be on the wrong side of everything.
Yeah.
They have to be against if the
Yeah.
majority is MAGA against this, they have to be on the wrong side. And you'll hear comment after comment just say, "Well, that could have been a white person." Well, it wasn't.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't. So
And if it had been, he should lose his license and he shouldn't be driving a semi.
yeah.
You know?
If my aunt had balls, she wouldn't be my aunt. It's the same
Should be
thing.
my uncle, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a couple
But
more.
look at this. So yeah, apparently this is
Wrong
this is happening. Like, look at this fucking.
It's for a U-turn.
Dang it. Yeah,
And,
yeah.
this is on an interstate, and he's blocking off a whole lane. And of course, there's a sign wrong right there. But he doesn't care. He's from, like you said, somewhere in India where they do this all the time.
It's just make his own rules.
He's
Oh,
lucky
yeah.
there. It looks like nobody died yet.
Yeah, no kidding. We'll see when he decides to go what happens. I think there's one more. Oh, yeah, here you go. I'm trying to mute it. There you go. Look at this. God, dude. Yeah.
You know, the biggest
you don't want to
gamble we
miss your
take-
exit.
The biggest gamble we take every day is driving. That's why when just fully autonomous driving hits soon, it's going to be such a blessing for all of humanity.
Yeah, we've made that point several times. But as soon as the number goes from 60,000 deaths a year to 300, it's going to be pretty hard to argue against autonomous driving.
Mhm.
It's going to be great. Speaking of that, have you been doing the autonomous driving lately?
Oh yeah, it's great. It's better every day.
Everywhere.
Elon says that like 2 months there's a new. Cause, the car is better than when I bought it. Most cars you drive off the lot, it's already worth less, and then it just gets worse and worse. I was one of the first people to get a Model 3. I got like 2018. My VIN was a really low one. I was on the waiting list forever, and I was in Arizona, so it's kind of close to Fremont where they make them. So I was one of the first people to get it. And I put like 90,000 miles on it. And that car at 90,000 miles was so much better than at 0 miles. And then it got totaled by being in a giant hailstorm. And I was just so sick. So I was like, this car had just decades left. It's better than it was. I bought another one, but well, whatever. But yeah, it's just getting better and better. And people love to dunk on Elon because they're expanding. You could do the Uber with Teslas now. It'll have a safety person in the passenger seat right now, just mainly because the government makes them, and also just because they're so careful about it. But it's expanding quick. They used to say, "Oh, geez, it's barely. They're so far behind Waymo." Well, now it's just they're expanding so fast. They're leaving Waymo in the dust already. They're going to be in New York. They're in.
Cool.
They're expanded almost all over Texas.
Yeah.
Phoenix. Yeah. San Francisco. So we're close.
I wonder if
I'm
people
pretty
that have
convinced
them,
my kids will never drive a car. I'm pretty convinced of it.
That's interesting. Dude, I wonder if the people who own them, like, they're already going in Austin, right? I want to know how much. Let's say I bought one. Am I making money? 5 years from now, has it made me 50 grand?
It'll be interesting to
plus
see.
I own it? Yeah.
Hey, it's going to be interesting to see
I'd
how
like
that
to
works
know.
out.
So, hey,
Because Elon, if you believe in kind of what he says, but he says that it's going to be way cheaper than car ownership. So nobody's going to own them. They're just going to be a ton of them sitting around. You're going to leave your house and just
great.
say, "Come get me," button.
Oh,
It's
good.
gonna
I
come
don't
and
get
grab
to own
you.
a car. Hooray.
True. Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to show this video you showed me earlier. Kind of related to this. Is this a Tesla, by the way?
You know, we've shown this robot a couple times. You remember the streamers that were bowling it and picking on it?
Yep.
I think it's that company.
Okay.
So I think these
they're getting better.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, watch this.
This is
though.
pretty impressive. Yeah.
This is actually crazy. Okay, let me make sure we can see it.
Watch the monster jump in.
Threw a kick and stayed. Threw a kick and stayed up. Threw a side kick. And it's like,
those kids humble a bit. It's like 5 years ago, you couldn't have a robot that would have taken a shove even and stayed up.
there's no way. Like, watch this kick. Step, kick. That is crazy that it can stay up.
Think about one that's really good AI, and it's going to download the real martial arts, and it's
Just
going to
like
be like
the
a
Matrix.
It's going to be a great wrestler. It's going to be interesting to see.
Honestly, it's wild.
That's not like foot ain't nothing to play with.
What would that be to have if it was good? To have this as a training partner, though.
Yeah.
You can dial it up or down. I don't know if you've done much kickboxing training, but they'll tell you go 30%. Next thing you know, your idiot partner's going 35, so you're going 40. Next thing you know, he's going 70, so you're trying to blast him. You don't have to worry about it with a emotionless, non-feeling robot. It'd be great.
Yeah. That kind of thing was very common in wrestling practice.
Oh, yeah. Anything when they say flow. Flow grapple.
We're just going 50%, everybody. All of a sudden, I'm in the match of my life against my partner.
Yeah. Bloody nose and your vision's starting to go in.
It was like a thing, too, of like, okay, we're practicing single legs. All of a sudden, I'm in a match. Okay, me and this guy are wrestling now. Whatever.
Yeah. Oh, jiu-jitsu would be, because you know how jiu-jitsu, there's an instructor, and everyone, it's so-called, like, they all want their new belt, so you'll be going normal with somebody and drilling it, it'll be fine, but then they see the instructor walk by, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're going 100%.
That's
It's
great,
like, God
dude.
damn it.
That's great.
Yeah.
See, that was such a thing, like, in wrestling, especially imagine a kid. You know, if you're 12 and 13, like, that's kind of unavoidable to try to impress the coach, you know?
Yeah,
so it just brings me back
tough
hearing you
adult.
say that, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, but let's keep watching this robot.
Right.
I'm gonna turn off the sound, but this is wild, dude. And I like when it squares off against this guy. But yeah, for some reason it lays down. I don't get what's up with that.
I was doing jiu-jitsu. It downloaded jiu-jitsu.
It's pulling guard.
Yeah. God, look how good that gets up.
Yeah. And it's squaring off. I mean, this is like a boxing robot. It's pretty good. Dude, the future is going to be nuts with these robots.
These things, yeah.
Dude, speaking of that,
It's
I was
crazy.
thinking, I was thinking about like how no one's gonna have a job and we're all gonna be horrible slaves and it's gonna be terrible, or gonna be great. But anyway, I was thinking, man, kids right now should be learning robotics. If you in the future, like repairing robots, that will be a skill. That will be
how much time do you think it's gonna buy you? Because eventually it's just gonna be robots repairing robots.
Good point. I didn't.
They're gonna be self-repairing.
Right. What do they need a person for?
But I'm saying that. But you got to look at the near future at this point. I got pages that come out and like, oh, what are you studying? Computer programming. Thinking, oh God, what are you doing? Why are you doing that?
Man, that's funny. Yeah.
Because there's not going to be computer programmers by the time you get out of school.
You're kidding.
We're that close.
It already feels like almost a wrap on computer programming.
Well, already it's just so much now. Is you have to talk. You don't have to speak computer, but you don't have to speak C++ anymore. You speak English, and you say, "I wanted to do this."
Yeah.
And then you go and debug it and say, "Hey, there's an error where this is yellow instead of red, and the cars are going the wrong way on this picture." And then it goes and does it again. That's kind of where computer programming might survive for a little bit, but it's not going to be doing C++ and that crap, really.
No kidding. I mean, and I think computer programmers and stuff watching our show would probably accurately say, like, come on, you're being, it's not that bad.
Inaccurately.
Well, yeah.
Inaccurately.
But honestly, they've got what, 5 years? I mean, maybe
there
will always
generous.
Yeah, maybe there won't.
You are being generous.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it through work. I have a different perspective because a lot of people that come in that I'm seeing have insurance coverage through work where it's good insurance, and so they don't have to worry about the cost of care and stuff. And boy, there's a lot of layoffs that people aren't talking about. Yahoo's just doing giant layoffs. Meta's doing giant layoffs. And I got these people coming in because you're going, oh God, well, I know they're doing layoffs in a month. I hope I'm not one of them. And this is definitely AI related.
Yeah.
We're seeing it too with like even PayPal.
That's a great
point.
point.
PayPal, when people sitting at home taking phone calls, that could be done by AI almost now. There's just right now there's a giant anti-AI push, and I think that's slowing it down a bit because these companies they don't want to be the first movers because it's going to piss people off because it's scary for people.
Yeah.
The people that grew up thinking I just got my nose to the grindstone, I do the 9 to 5, I got to go to college to get a degree, and this is how it goes. Well, they're also ignoring that you've been raped and pillaged by the Fed and by our government and by whoever's pulling the strings and are purposely printing off just infinite amount of monies and taking your money and just spreading it around willy-nilly, buying votes, buying favors, doing whatever their master's telling to do, and it's making your dollar worthless.
Yeah.
And that's why you can't get ahead, and that's why you're grinding nonstop.
And
it's not
you're paying
AI.
Interest. You're paying insane interest you didn't understand on
to
your
these
loans.
to these shadow governments that you don't even know.
Yeah.
A fourth of your tax now goes to interest to shadow governments.
Yeah.
And they're taking it out on AI, I guess.
Yep.
When hopefully AI, if it goes good, that's our only chance of freedom at this point, is AI going down that good path.
Absolutely, because we need help, because we are all screwed.
Yep.
And you know what, though? This
Yep.
makes me want to show something. I want to get into this other topic, because people will say, oh, plus you're being taxed to death. So everyone's broke and in debt, and their dollar's worth way less than it should be.
40% of us are getting taxed to death. The other ones are at this point they're feeding off of it. But us 40%, that's the reason you're hearing people crying saying I can't afford daycare and raising my family, and I don't get to see my kids at all because I have to work 14 hours a day as a nurse and I still can't get ahead. It just looks like that's by design.
That point you just made.
That's not an accident.
I'm going to show this video first and then show this other one. Because what you just said, because like you're right, only 40% are being taxed to death. The other people are living off of the taxes.
They need a parasite class to steal from us.
The government has created
it'd be too
a
good.
parasite class. Watch this video. Watch this.
Getting no job. If you go get a job, they're going to take my Section 8. Then you won't be able to get no Section 8. You're not going to get no job. They're going to count your income against my Section 8 and my link card. You're not working. No. So I don't care what you got to say. I don't care how you feel. You're not working. You're not going to get a job. You're not going to school. You're not doing none of that shit. Get on Section 8. Find you a nice apartment. Go get you a link card. You will be fine. You don't have to sit up and work. You don't have to work no job. The government is here to help us.
That thing that never happens happened again, Garrett. So her son wanted to get a job, and she's telling him, "Don't get a job. That will cut our benefits."
Do you know who she's told? Do you know who she's being told that by? The government. The Section 8 worker is going, "Don't let him get a job. It's going to throw you off, and then we're going to get less funding, and then we're not going to be able to be the parasite class because if you're working for the government as giving out these Section 8 handouts, you're part of the parasite class too. You're not producing anything for the good of the country. Yep. You're taking the money too from the taxpayer and distributing it out."
You see, I don't even really blame her that much. I think it's sort of a bad philosophy in life, honestly, and she's ruining her son, But
it gets to that weird case
it's the
of
system. She should not. The system has created this problem. She's just taking advantage of it. How many liberal politicians liked her video? Yeah. See, they've created this issue, and it's not fair to the working American. But she doesn't give a shit about
stomped on Romney for this, and the media is so good at like looking at this, going, "Oh God, you guys have a heart," and all of that. And the whole Romney, he basically said 47% of people live off the taxpayer, and he got just stomped for that. Adam and Stowe said, "A preview of all of us in the robot utopia."
Yeah, don't get a job,
It's
Garrett.
gonna be weird.
Yeah,
we need a robot. Be weird, man.
We need a robot food stamps.
The nothing ever happens crowd is just gonna be blown away.
Yeah, so stuff is rapidly gonna be changing. Okay, but this is also applies to this. Okay, so I wanted to show this. This is great.
From the property tax situation. It's very important given how that's pinched so many homeowners, particularly our senior citizens who have their homes paid off and they bought it 30 years ago for a certain amount. Now they're being told it's worth so much more and they have to pony up more and more money. It's almost like they have to pay rent to the government just to be able to enjoy their property. And that's wrong. And we need to do something about it.
Yeah, we're supposed to own our property.
Yeah,
we're supposed to own our property, and we obviously don't. I bet if you go look at the comments, there's gonna be a lot of people going, "Yeah, but that money goes to the schools and goes to the roads. It's always the roads and the kids."
That's a point.
It's always those two.
Yeah, it's
always I say it over and over until I'm blue in the face. The government does not have a revenue problem; it has a spending problem.
Okay,
so
but I want to talk about.
Plenty of.
I want to talk about Ron DeSantis. He's lately been kind of campaigning on maybe ending property tax altogether in Florida, which I was a really big fan of Ron DeSantis. Then he got a little bit weird. I became kind of a less of a fan of him, but this issue, I'm such a big fan of his on this issue. Get rid of property tax.
I don't think there's state income tax either, right?
I don't think so. If they got rid of property tax, I think I would go buy land and a house there from when I.
That's probably where I'm planning on retiring. It's a great state. Yeah.
Okay, so that's another thing as far as like they're devaluing the dollar. The Federal Reserve is making us all poor. The government absolutely defrauding the American people. We're all screwed.
We agree that's on purpose, right?
For sure.
They had USAID. They knew it was going to weaken America, and it was going to lift up shitholes where they could go and get whatever stupid value they want there at the expense of the taxpayer. They really don't want a free society. They want you grinding. Right. So there's no reason there has to be two adults working in a household to stay afloat.
It's not
in the 80s it didn't happen.
No,
yeah, it didn't like that. And your granddad, your dad, whatever, might even go to college. He probably went and worked at the factory, but he could have a car or two in a house and 4 kids and way more kids.
30-year-old.
That's the excuse. That's the excuse too they try to use, because you remember in the 90s they told us that the population's exploding and there's gonna be way too many people on Earth, and it's not. It's gonna, if anything, it's the opposite. There's gonna be low birth rates. It's gonna be a bigger issue than overpopulation ever was. But it almost feels like that's related too. They thought like, oh God, we got to have people stop having kids. Let's make them work 50 hours a week and not have much money. And so that's the excuse a lot of people use too. They'll say like, I'm not in a financial spot for it. and that's why this is happening.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me. You know,
here's the counterpoint
even
to
me
that.
Personally, I think that a lot of the reason maybe I haven't gotten a wife is because I've never felt financially secure enough. And I don't want to raise a family if I'm, maybe going to be homeless.
It is a really weird extra oh shit and stress when it's not just you and you have a family and kids.
That'd be much worse.
It was just me and I got fired and lost my house. Like fucking whatever. I'll go
that's
move
how
in
I
with
feel.
Nate. I gotta stay with him until something opens up in his apartment. Well, fine. We lived in the same apartments when we were poor. And it was a fucking blast.
Yeah.
But with kids, it's different.
Yeah, if you got a wife,
but here's the counterpoint
too
to
much
that.
responsibility,
Yeah. It's more the kids too, just because they're helpless and they didn't ask to be born. Here's the counter to that: is that you look at the liberal havens, where the liberals want to move to. It's always in whatever super white, rich European countries that they try to look for. Say, look, there's no gun violence here, and they give 2 years maternity leave, and they pay you X amount per baby. Well, their birth rates are even lower than here in the United States. So that's kind of the counterpoint to it, where something else is going on.
Even there, I think that's not really a counterpoint because their financial situation is actually more tenuous even than ours. Just because they have
Here's the thing.
social health care, they're smart enough to know they can't depend on that.
But here's the thing: they get 2 years off for it, so they're actually incentivized to have a kid. You have a kid, you don't work for 2 years, you get paid the same.
Yeah.
So you're incentivized to have a kid. Basically.
But I think that they sort of know, like, we're poor and it's going to get worse. Like, that's what's stopping.
You think
people.
so? You think between them sniffing their farts, they're sitting there thinking, it's pretty bad here.
Yeah, I do. I think
I
so.
don't.
They know. They know when they go to the grocery store and they use their government check to buy, not very much.
I think they're going, oh, I sprained my ankle. I went to the ER. Thank God I don't live in the U.S. I think they're thinking that all day long.
I think that they think that they are poor, and they're right, and they think it might get worse, and they're right.
Did you see the stat going around right now that's blowing people's minds? Because the whole joke is like, oh, geez, I wouldn't go and live in America because you're going to die by a school shooter. Did you see that like 3 times more people in the UK die from not having air conditioning a year than people die in school shootings in the US?
I hadn't heard
even accounting for the size of America, that many more people die in the UK because Europeans just don't have air conditionings for some reason.
Well, they can't afford the energy
really hard
now,
to buy it.
right?
I think you need to get like an AC. I think you need to get a license. There's some European countries where you have to have a license to open your windows the full way or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm not being sarcastic.
Terrible to me.
I know. But there's so much stuff I read about like the licensing in UK. I'm like, I can't tell if this is sarcasm or not. Do they really need a license to have a TV? Do they really need a license to eat a cheeseburger? Like, it goes like, and these guys are the ones that are acting like they're free. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're not. Okay, but tying this together still, because this is the point I wanted to make after the property tax video, is you said, well, people always say schools and roads, right? That's what we always hear. This is why property taxes are so important. Watch this.
Students took the test in the spring of 2023. Just a few months ago, we found 13 city high schools where not one student who took the state math test scored proficient. Not one student. These are the 13 schools, which in our
student.
It goes on.
One. Not one. I can break the mold.
Yeah, dude. And I actually have a few more videos like this from teachers talking about how bad it is. These kids, like, look, zero in 13 high schools, I think in Baltimore, zero students are proficient in math. They talk about their English scores too. Just miserable. You're like, they can't read.
What do you think they blame it on?
Probably white supremacy. Systemic racism.
It's close. It's kind of close because you live in a district. They take you own a house. Your house is worth more than whatever fucking poor district they're in, and so they say these schools get paid more. and more per student.
That was their excuse.
Here's the
for-
problem.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, here's the problem. That private schools blow away the public schools. They get way less money because it's self-funded. And the only thing they get is tuition. They don't get any tax money. So not only are these schools so bad where you're forced to pay into the public school system even if you don't use it. That's what school vouchers is. That's almost nowhere. So you're double paying for school. You're paying for the school that you can send your kid to, but you're saying that's a shithole. I'm going to pay way more money and send them here. But the problem is because they're not on the government's teat where it's someone else spending your money, they have to be way more economical with the money. And just like any time that private business blows away the government, it works in schools too. So these private schools take in a fraction of the money. Their teachers get paid less. There's less administrators, but they blow away the public schools. There's all sorts of excuses for it. But it comes down to the less government in anything obviously is better. They're just better ran because they have a very finite amount of money that they have to spread around the best they can. And they do a much better job than the public school that's got a ton of administrators, and they're just wanting more and more and more. And so, and then the head of the teachers unions is a lunatic, Wendy Wentgarten or whatever, that did her best to make sure schools were shut down for as long as possible during COVID. And then when a county or a state tried to open up, she said they were racist for whatever reason, no matter what racial makeup the school was. That's what they're contesting against. And it's just like anything with the government. They suck at everything they do.
Well, and the private schools have to be like merit-based. They can fire teachers if they aren't performing.
They fire teachers all the time. Yep.
Students will leave. Yeah. But government schools, they don't fire anybody. You know, it's almost the opposite.
If you're tenured, you can't. You basically. Yeah.
You know, I think the leftist ideology, like we say, they're wrong about every issue. Somehow they're on the wrong side. I think that they, you know, they glorify what is bad and they hate what is good. And I think that applies to like schools. If so, they don't want like someone who's smart.
How funny.
They want someone who's
How
stupid.
funny is that? You'll see people wearing like "I love public schools" as a shirt. It's like, what kind of shirt is that? You like just the most mediocrity thing in the whole world. And the politicians that are the most pro public schools, they don't send their kids to public school. They all have excuses for it. They all try to hide it, but they're not sending them to the school with you plebes. But at the same time, they're going to go out and wear "I love public school" shirts.
Yeah.
And if you ask them, they blame private schools on this. They say, no, private schools are the cause of this because it spreads out the money. Nate, just think if we took all that money away from that school and just spread it out.
That'd be way better.
That'd be a drop in the bucket. That'd be worse because it's a drop in the bucket. And now you have to accommodate those students that you basically stole a spot from. You'd accommodate them now, and you're already a failed system.
Well, another thing, speaking of how they, for decades, have said, well, we're underfunded, yada, yada, yada. This video makes the point that they're funded more than ever, like a lot more, and they're having the
More than
lowest
other
scores
countries.
ever. And it's the same story. I saw a similar thing about Chicago. Their teachers are being paid like over $100K a year. They're making a high amount as teachers, and their students are underperforming in every single thing, you know. But I don't think they care. I don't think the teachers care. The students don't care. The parents don't care.
Yes.
The government doesn't.
They're saying we
care.
need more funding.
Yeah.
The
They
government
want
likes
low
it
scores.
because they could run. You could run whatever district, state, senate, and you could run off. Our schools need more money, and we don't appreciate the teachers enough. So we need to go and get more money for the teachers. And they're buying votes with that. And it's not them. They're not donating any money to schools, of course. Because not their hard-earned money. It's other people's hard-earned money they want to spend.
They'll happily steal your money and spend it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to play 20 seconds of this.
Our students cannot read at grade level. As a music teacher, I didn't really think I had a whole lot to add to this conversation, but I don't think a lot of y'all understand how much this is affecting them in every single course that they're taking, not just the ones where they're having to write and read passages like science and math and reading courses, but it's affecting them in every aspect of their schooling.
Which I think should be obvious. If they can't read, they
Nate,
also are going to suck at history, you know.
But Nate, long COVID. COVID's a thing. You have to be careful. It's still there.
Yeah.
Can you believe they shut down schools for that long? How insane is that? We really do need a Nuremberg trials.
Yeah, we do.
For the whole COVID thing, because they act like they're acting like, why can't there just be amnesty? It's gone. COVID's in the past. Why do you take it out?
Why are you still thinking about that?
Why do you hate the CDC? Why do you hate the WHO? Why do you hate CNN? Because you guys haven't admitted it. If anything, you're doubling down on it and you're trying to memory hole it. But you guys are the bad ones. Wendy Rentgard, whatever her name is again, she tried to change history. She said, I wanted to get schools opened up so fast. That's so easy to say. I wish we were open, but everyone's not masking. Not enough people are masking in this area, so we can't open it. Blame them, not me. That's the kind of the attitude they had. They haven't admitted they're wrong, and they haven't apologized. So why would we offer any sort of amnesty?
Yeah,
no. But why should we trust them or offer any amnesty if they haven't taken the simple steps of saying, we messed up, we're sorry? They haven't.
I would love that. Ned Pepper says, Garrett said it earlier about the government not having a revenue problem. Same as schools. All across America, states are spending more per pupil than ever before, yet test scores continue to decline. It's not a money problem. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
It's an ideology problem.
But do you know how many votes you could get if you say, we're going to make sure every kid has 2 free meals a day? That's not an issue. We don't have a starving class of students. They're all well fed. If anything, they're too well fed. And that's what you're running on just because it sounds nice. It's for the kids. It's always the kids are roads. It's always those two.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say about that. Look, if you want to say the schools, that's why I have to pay property tax and other taxes because of schools, well, then I want some B's. I want these kids to get some. I'd like to see some C's and B's.
Yeah, right.
I'm not.
If I'm their benefactor, if I'm their benefactor, I'm pulling support until you have one student that's at the reading level.
That's right. Is that too much to demand? One student that can do multiplication by the time he's in high school? Dude, another thing about that I thought about because, and speaking of COVID, like kids not going to school set them back like 3 years, But I think it's going to end up being infinite years. They're just dumber forever. And I started thinking, okay, so none of these kids can do math. And then I started thinking, every year poker has gotten harder. But I think that in the coming years it might become easier because the 15-year-olds right now, once they're 25, they aren't going to be able to do math.
You go down a weird rabbit hole, the gambler's fallacy stuff. There's so many people that are just, you'll hear them get mad at like, oh, I was playing blackjack, but I was sitting by this guy that sucked, and he kept hitting when he shouldn't have, and it was causing the dealer not bust.
Yeah.
You idiots. Nothing that other people playing blackjack changes anything. The house is going to win, let's say 49% of the time. It doesn't matter if it's you sitting there or a million people sitting there. You're going to lose 51% of the time. It doesn't change it. You'll hear people say like, well, the slots, there's a hot slot machine. You don't sit in the next one. This is for real. People have argued this. You don't sit in the one next to it because the odds are you're not going to have 2 hot slot machines in a row.
That's funny.
I say, well, what if I unplug that one and move it 100 yards away? Can I play it then?
How it works.
Because they're complete. It's a ridiculous question because they're obviously completely unrelated. Yeah. When you get in the slots, you're down to like a 46% chance of winning or whatever it is. But people are just you'll see it too when it comes to roulette. Oh my God, that says red 30 times in a row. It's got to be black next time. Let's go put $50,000 on it.
That's why
There's a lot of people. That's why the casino's just rape and pillage.
Yeah. Adam and Stove says.
Speaking. Oh. I was to say, but speaking of, did you see Vegas is dying? By the way,
I did. I've been watching a bunch of videos. We'll have to talk about that. In a second. Let me read this. Adam and Stove says the whole concept of the government, especially the federal government, educating our children is bizarre. Yeah, that's a good point.
And it's like we talked about this too. If we had a government program to teach babies to walk in a decade or two, people are going to act like, what are we going to do without this, Nate? If you don't have property taxes, how are you going to pay the government to teach your kid to walk? People aren't going to walk. People are going to fall. Do you want a kid to fall and break their leg because they're not properly able to walk?
Yep.
It's the same thing with this. Like, just because it's been there for a while, people act like it's like, whoa, we got to get money over here. Who's going to educate the kids? You're not going to have, you have to educate these kids. They have to be smart enough, they have to be competent enough to vote. They can't not be able to read and vote.
And
That's the argument on that.
It's also,
But it is. Do you think it was a coincidence that that school time is basically the same time as like a 8 to 5, 8 to 4 job?
Yeah.
It's
the
child care
system.
It's a child care so that you can have both parents out of the house working. It's the whole thing. Like, even stay-at-home moms a lot of times will go to work when all the kids are in school, and it's obvious what they're doing. They need more of a workforce from that working class. What better way than to take their kids for 9 hours a day? Oh, but also 9 hours a day with your kid isn't enough. We're going to saddle them with a bunch of homework. So when they get home from sitting around being bored doing nothing all day, they could have an hour or two of homework because we suck at our job, because we're the worst fucking career. But don't worry, we need to get paid more. Homework is such a stupid philosophy.
While the kids are there, it's like a factory. It's like known that it's based on this factory system to make the children into factory workers, including like the bells and whoever designed it. Like,
go to college. Go to college to get a specialized job, or hit up a trade school and get over to the factory.
Yeah. Okay, let me keep reading these. State or local education makes much more sense and is how it worked for 1,000 years. Great for indoctrination, though. Yeah. Boxbar says, make kids do a math problem before they can open their phone. Kids will be doing calculus by the end of the week. Dude, that's interesting. Like, in order to unlock your phone, you have to
give them a spelling quiz, and I like.
Dude, you know what? That's an app. There's an app idea that could like maybe sell. Like a parent could put that on the kid's phone. That's smart.
Yep.
I'm gonna steal that.
Still
from
have an emergency button. So you have an emergency button to call your parents or whatever you need. Yeah.
No, too late. Too late. You should have said that.
Nate already did it.
Yeah. That's great.
But I'm going back to Adam and Stoves real quick. Great for indoctrination. But also, it's illegal to not send your kids to school. And it's also illegal to not send them basically. They're trying to make homeschooling is obviously under attack. They're trying to make that illegal. And it's working in some areas, like California, all of that. So you have to send your kid, no matter what, you have to send them to a one-size-fits-all learning center. It's terrible for boys. And what they have to do is they have to go medicate the boys because it's so unnatural. A 10-year-old boy is not
8
supposed
hours
to be
a
sitting
day
for 8 hours straight
talking
about the stupid shit that this teacher,
old idiot, miserable.
Yes.
Miserable.
Yeah, so you have to medicate kids to get them to do that. That now they have a speed addiction for the rest of their life, and it's illegal not to send them there. You have to send them there.
Great point.
It's insane that's a thing.
Not to mention,
and also it's run by the government.
Yeah,
it's
like dangerous.
Run by the government.
You get beat up. Some kids.
Yeah,
pretty
for
rough.
sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, school. There's a lot of problems with schools, man. And, it's just terribly run by idiots.
And it's not getting better. It's only getting worse. While everything else is getting better and more efficient, anything government ran just gets worse and less efficient.
And, dude, another thing about it, if you have 3 kids, one of them has to become gay at school. That's a new big part of it.
You see the
teachers
Supreme
say
Court?
At least one kid must be gay.
You see the Supreme Court battle? I think it's in... God dang it. I think it's in Walz's state.
Minnesota?
Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. I think it's Minnesota. But it's in their state Supreme Court, and it went to our federal Supreme Court. So they had whatever gay books they were reading the kids, groomer, trans bullshit. And you could still
My daddy's
opt
pregnant.
out.
Yeah.
Yes, you could opt out and say, I don't want my kids seeing this shit because I have no choice to send them to you, but I don't want to see that. Well, too many people opt out. So they said, no longer, you can't opt out. So you have to send your kids here, else we're going to take them away and put them with a foster family. But also, we're going to groom them.
Yeah.
And it's in the Supreme Court right now. I don't know what the ruling was, but we should almost cover that case because I think it might be decided on already.
Okay, so they couldn't opt their kid out of the become a gay kid lessons at school.
Yep.
Do you know what that reminds me of, Garrett? You know what it makes me think of? Is this.
What's that?
This is the National Football League.
Speaking of Tim Ross, that is Tim Ross, right?
That's his son.
That's him. That's him walking out on stage.
This.
You remember that first time he walked out on stage when they basically introduced him? This is he's doing the Tim Walls. That's what he did. That's what he's doing. He's walking to the microphone.
This is every Tim Waltz campaign speech. Okay, so
For real.
dude, honestly, like you have to read gay books, and now this is in the NFL. I just think it's a big, essentially evil agenda to make everything lame and gay. It's the same thing as like, that South Park put a chick in it, make her gay and lame. It's that. Every Netflix show has a trans person has to be the lead. There's a big, weird agenda.
Speaking of, we kind of talked about how there's a pushback on that with Trump now. There was a movie out. God, what was it? It was about a kid that wanted to really believe in aliens and he wanted to be abducted. Have you seen this movie? Have you heard about it?
I don't think so.
Well, it doesn't make sense. Like it was one of I think it's Pixar's. It's one of their lowest rated movies ever. Well, it turns out that the whole point of this kid was supposed to be like non-binary or whatever it was, but he's a kid, so it's all pedophile bullshit.
Right. So
he was supposed to be like, he's supposed to be non-binary or whatever, but they knew they had to scrap that because the tides were turning that fast. So they basically fired a bunch of the writers, and they just kind of rewrote it, and it just kind of doesn't make it doesn't make any sense now.
Yeah, that's another thing. These queer weirdo adults trying to push this on children as like children are gay. Children, 6-year-olds are gay. I hate that.
But they've known. They've known since they were one.
Yeah, it's just like a vegan dog.
Yeah.
It's like that analogy is really good.
Even worse, a vegan cat. Yeah.
Adam and Stove says, finally something for Vikings fans to cheer for. Ned Pepper says, finally the Dallas Cowboys aren't the gayest NFL team.
I don't want to go that far.
Okay, let's watch this. Here's the Patriots.
Yeah, Patriots have one now.
Like, why are they all doing this?
We gotta point it out again. There's male cheerleaders, obviously. There's nothing wrong with male cheerleaders. It's when the male cheerleaders try to act like chicks.
Yeah, it's worse,
Yes.
And honestly, it's just something I really, really hate about it. It's like attacking the culture, And it's not organic. It feels like it's top down being forced upon us. If it was organic, that would be one thing. But it's not. No. The fans aren't going, "Hey, get a guy in there. We need a guy with pom pom."
We need a feminine guy out there. That's the only thing. That's what we're missing.
See, that would be one thing. That would be one thing if that was happening. That's not happening. But it's
the
still
opposite.
being forced upon the people.
The free market proves over and over and over again that people are sick of it. The free market proves it nonstop. But for whatever reason, they're going against their own financial interests to push whatever bullshit this is.
Yeah. It's like the Bud Light thing, which is also why I think, man, people should not forgive the Vikings for this. Look at this. Gross, dude. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yep.
Who asked for this? Because I guarantee you it wasn't football fans.
Did they get the memo that they don't? The shit's dead yet.
Yeah, no kidding, dude. Boxbar says this is to attract more Swifties. Miguel says taking jobs from women. Some women probably work so hard to try and get a spot and lost their opportunity to this. That's a great point. It's just like the women's sports thing.
Do you know where you see that? You also see it in beauty pageants. There'll be an obese male that they're going to put lipstick on the pig and send him out there, and they'll give him first. and you'll see like this obese, just monstrously disgusting, waxed, fucking smelly male up there, and you'll see like the second, third, or like normal, beautiful, hot women, and they have to act like, oh no, it's good I got second because Helga here is way more feminine than me.
Helga deserved to be Miss Maine or whatever.
And if they don't, they get the Riley Gaines where they're all of a sudden a hate figure, and they're just jealous because she sucks at swimming, even though she's a D1 swimmer that can swim any of these fucking idiots on the internet. But she gets because she speaks the truth and says the Earth's not flat. Also, this is a dude, obviously.
Yeah, it's a fat over dude.
And it's just, you're just jealous. It's not a dude. You're just jealous you didn't win. If you're better, you'd beat him. It's the same thing with that.
Dude, that point you're making, I think, is really great. It's similar to what I was saying about, like, the reason schools suck. It's like they this lie that they all tell of, like, the worst thing is actually the best thing, and the best thing is bad. You go, oh, really? So the beautiful woman who should be Miss Maine doesn't become Miss Maine. Instead, this fat trans dude is Miss Maine. And you all applaud that. It's a messed up ideology, and it's the same thing for, like, it's just in our society ruining everything.
We say that with. Do you remember the Gavin Newsom interview with like Charlie Kirk and stuff, but other places now? He has to go because obviously the winds are going that way. In order for a Democrat to win president, they're gonna have to distance themselves from that. And his state's one of the worst because there's a dude track guy that's just triple jumping over all the females, and they asked him about it. And what does he do? The only thing he do is blame Trump. So he'll go, oh, I saw this thing with the NCAA, and Trump's doing this executive order. He's doing that. There's been like 11. There's 11 transgender females in all of NCAA. Do you know that? He's doing this for 11 transgender females. No, he's not. He's doing it for the 15,000 female athletes. But they love to say that. They love to say, you're doing all of this for 11 people? No. All of this for 15,000 people. For 15,000 women and the young girls growing into that.
And
that's
all
what we're doing it for.
Women,
yes. We're not doing that for the 15 mentally ill dipshits.
Yeah.
We're doing that for everyone else.
Yeah. But
they all act like,
say,
geez,
it just must, must be hate.
Nothing.
Yeah, it must be because of hate.
This is a nothing issue. Why are you making an issue out of this? This is a nothing issue.
Yeah. Dude, one more thing about what we're talking about. Oh, yeah, this. I don't know if you've noticed, but there have been some more rumblings about something that I've been saying for a while, which is my conspiracy theory that WNBA superstar Brittany Griner is actually a man. I've said that for a while now.
Do you know that?
Starting to get some
so she's
traction.
got a female partner. And the partner, they have a kid apparently, and she wants the kid to call her dad.
Brittany wants a kid to call her dad? Well, that's because she's a man. Okay, but anyway, watch this old video, which I think we showed on the show a couple years ago.
Years ago. And when it comes to Brittany Griner is, in fact, a man. One of the videos that give us cause to say that is this video. It is from her Instagram.
Oh, sorry. Here's a. Yeah, we can't show breasts.
It is from her.
Twitch will probably cancel us, Garrett.
They blurred them for us, so.
Stories from years and years ago.
Anyone seeing this? Hang on. This picture would just go. That's a guy about to shoot a basketball in a pool. What's the picture? What's the controversy? Oh, that's secretly WNBA star Brittany Griner. And also, recently he has done a bunch of interviews, and he's not masking his voice enough, so people are like, that's a dude. So whatever. I just think it's a dude. No surprise there. He's probably pretty good at basketball. And anyway.
Well, do we get into the Israeli thing quick? The Israeli pedophile?
I mean, sure, we can end with that.
We got to talk about it because it's kind of happening right now.
Yeah.
God, we got to get into the fake food thing too, really
yeah.
bad. Oh man, but that one that's one's gonna take. The fake food thing's gonna take too long, I think.
Okay. Which one? Let's pick one of them and cover it, and then end the show.
I say we do the Israeli thing's happening right now.
Okay.
The State Department commented on it today.
All right.
And it's kind of blowing up.
What's going on?
So,
it's the Israeli thing.
All right. We got, I wish I had a picture of the guy. So basically, there was a sting in Vegas over the weekend. They were trying to get a bunch of pedophiles, and they found like 11 of them. 11 pedophiles went and tried to meet a minor or whatever, but one of them is an Israeli, a super high kind of, he's a pretty high.
Works directly under Netanyahu.
Yep, and he's like something with like cyber safety and AI or something like that. I think we got it. But there's all sorts of blaming, people blaming who to blame here. But they basically let him go and let him flee the country to Israel.
Yeah, they just let him leave. Okay, where's the...
So he's the Israeli National Cyber Directorate, Tom Alexandrovich.
Yeah.
So they let this guy go. There's some people blaming the Trump administration.
Okay, yeah. So Netanyahu's saying he wasn't arrested, but the Metro Department clearly shows he was arrested in a sting.
Yep, and he was
child.
arraigned. He was given like $1,000. He was given like $1,000 bail. Being from Israel, in this, there's a picture of him. Obviously, he's a flight risk. They didn't take his visa or anything. But go back, like even Marjorie Taylor Greene is posting about it right here. Go up.
Okay.
Why did our government release a child sex predator from Israel who works directly under the Prime Minister of Israel? And now Netanyahu is lying and completely denying it. Why isn't Mark Levine pitching a hissy fit over this? Why isn't Laura Loomer rage posting about this and claiming she broke the story? Then go to this next one. Go to this Reddit post. Look at this one. Could you, a map of registered sex offenders living in Israel. They posted this in the subreddit, what the fuck? And it was deleted, of course.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I don't know what it would look like if you pulled up another city, but obviously
they've got
that
a problem. Yeah.
And so do we as Americans, because for whatever reason, Israel holds a much higher proportionate power over our elected officials for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, and it needs to end. Here's this. So this is the judge. Her name is Sigal Chadha. She is an Israeli-born.
Interim U.S.
She's
attorney.
a judge here. She's the one that let him go. Yep, she's the one that let him go.
Yeah, she just let him go. See, it's just so crazy how these people are above the law, you know?
Yep. And, you know, I think in the past, this has happened a lot. And it just because CNN's not going to talk about it. MSNBC's not. Nobody's going to talk about it. But now there's actual free speech. Shit like this happens. So here is a tweet by the U.S. State Department because it's actually picking up steam because we finally have free speech. So we finally have free speech. People are noticing things. And so now you can't ignore it.
Yep.
So
I'll just read it.
We're told that like Cash Patel and Dan Bongino, they're our buddies, and they have us first. They're watching out for us. But obviously not if they're letting this pedophile who went to meet a minor and who has child porn or whatever it even is, they're letting him go just because he's high up in Israel.
Because he's Israeli.
Yeah.
So this is
the Department of State is aware that Tom Artyom Alexandrovich, an Israeli citizen, yeah, that's what he is, was arrested in Las Vegas and given a court date for charges related to soliciting sex electronically from a minor. He did not claim diplomatic immunity and was released by a state judge pending a court date. Any claims that the U.S. government intervened are false. Well, he's obviously gone. He's back in Israel.
He's back in Israel.
Do you think he's going to come back? He's not. He's a free man. He's not arrested there. Do you think he's going to come back and face these charges?
No, I don't think so. And I think
if you go to the next one, yeah, this is Glenn Greenwald. He's a conservative and stuff. But he basically says, what is a non-conspiratorial explanation for 8 people were arrested in a sting for arranging to meet children for sex, and one of them, is quickly released on bail without his passport seized. Thus, ensuing he'd flee back to Israel, which he did. This wasn't some low-level, obscure bureaucrat. He works for the Israeli National Cyber Directorate, which reports to Netanyahu. How do you release a foreign national on a major felony charge with no passport seizure? Doesn't matter that the U.S. attorney for Nevada is Israeli.
I love it. Good
Obviously,
question.
it does. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But you know, this is
noticing.
another stain. That's another stain where the last show we showed, the Israeli Times had that blogger wrote in, basically saying that Trump is being threatened with the release of the Epstein files because he didn't bomb Iran enough. And it just kind of like, we already have that stain. And now this happens. This isn't a good time for the Epstein people for this to happen.
Yeah, if they go.
But this is kind of getting to be big right now.
Yeah, and this is just one case. Imagine how many things there are like this. I guarantee.
I already
in New
have
York,
some
there's
for
a
you. I
bunch
asked
of-
Grok.
Okay.
I asked Grok. So go to the next one. Yep.
Okay.
I asked Grok. I said, how does this happen? Oh, yeah, this is a weird one here. So Sean King, you know who Sean King is?
Although
He's a white guy. He's a white guy that tried to masquerade as a black guy forever. Finally got called out on it. He did the Rachel Dolezal. For whatever reason, she was branded as a crazy psychopath and thrown to the side. Sean King has somehow stayed relevant-ish, I guess. But he was tweeting about this a bunch.
All right.
In the middle of the night, his tweets, every single one was deleted. And it's kind of crazy because it was, people can say, oh, well, he just went and deleted it. But he was talking to Grok about it too. And the Grok tweets were even deleted. So someone went and deleted through Grok also.
Wow.
So then he kept saying, he's like, what the fuck? These are deleted. I'm going to retweet all of them word for word. But then he says, and we're taking this guy's word for this a bit. But he says, my lawyers were told today that my tweets about the Israeli pedophile that was arrested for sex crime in Vegas were all removed after a government demand. They were not told which government. Has this ever been done before? I got zero notice, explanation, nothing. I think if he's telling the truth, Elon has got to speak up on this.
No kidding.
Because he's supposed to be, hey, we're free speech. You could say whatever. If there really are deleting tweets on behest of a government, he needs to speak out right now.
I agree. In fact, they've mentioned before that governments are constantly telling them, delete this, delete that, you have to take this down. And Jack Dorsey, Twitter, used to just do whatever they said. But Elon has come out and specifically said, we're not complying with this shit. So I want to know why they comply with these, you know?
Yep. I had a clip pulled up. I had a clip pulled out from Jenny McCarthy I should have sent in, but I didn't. There's just too much. Where she's talking about, she's the one that came and said, my kid was injured by vaccines, and all the parents are saying this. She basically had a PR person approach her and say, hey, just there was a government agency that came and approached me, and they're trying to pay me to basically defame you and bury you. So I said no, but there's going to be a lot of people that don't say no. And then she was written off as crazy. She still is. She lost her career for it, written off like crazy. Crazy. Our government's done that just obviously numerous times, but now they're finally getting caught thanks to X.
Dude, I'm glad that tax dollars have been spent on just such evil shit forever. Since tax started.
They
the
tried.
Money's just been spent on evil.
And it's worked over and over. Yeah. The first time I think in American history that it hasn't completely worked is COVID, just because there are people able to document it and sue the government and stuff.
Dude, that's the thing about
even
COVID.
though there hasn't.
It might be the.
It was the great eye opener
point.
for a lot of people.
Yeah, it might be the great turning point where finally, thousands of years of like government evil power and just like societal evil gets overturned because everyone goes, hey, look how much they lied to us and just brutalized us. And we see it, and it's like undeniable for people who are willing to notice how much of a joke
we're in the document age where you could document a lot of it and stuff, and you could finally talk about it for the first time. X is the one that broke the dam. Then Facebook comes out and says, okay, we're not going to delete you for it.
Yeah. And it's not even just government. It's like, look, the doctors are idiots. Look, the scientists they're motivated by money. They're not motivated by noble goals.
When the media tells us there's an expert says, it's just some idiot behind the screen. They're not really an expert.
Yeah,
We've
just some
seen that
moron
over and over
took
and
a
over.
check, you know.
Yeah.
And
My
probably just
favorite when they
some
talk
worm.
about online hate experts, talking about how hate has been increasing since Elon bought X, and they showed the online hate expert. Do you remember that? It was some guy dressed as a girl sitting at like a kitchen table in this rundown apartment with a laptop and
There you
him
go.
going, it's been so much worse for people on the internet.
Yeah, his job is
That's their expert.
being a victim. So yeah, he's an expert.
Yep. But Sean King claims they were deleted. He claims that his attorney is one of them, that his attorney says that a government, didn't say which one, demanded them gone. So I asked Grok, I said, hey, has this ever happened before? Have there been Israeli patriots basically released for pedophilia? And here's a lot of cases.
Okay, so
Malcolm
wow.
Leifer case.
Yeah.
Yep. 74 charges of child sexual abuse.
fled to
Jimmy
Israel.
Julius Carroll case, which is 1990. Sexual assaulting a 9-year-old girl, fled to Israel. Grushin Kransker case, another American accused of child molestation, fled to Israel.
Okay,
By
so
the
they
law
just
of-
let him go.
law of
They go,
return.
"Ah, he's Israeli.
A
let him
ton of
go
these.
home."
Yes.
Yeah,
Maybe that's
see,
how we get that map that we see. Yep.
Doesn't surprise me at all. I guarantee there's tons of it.
Yep.
Man. Oh yeah, we never mentioned the Canada Woods thing. either,
I
but
know. We
just
had
too
to
much
talk
time.
about the Canada Woods. We got it. We got to do the fake food. We got to start with next week. Here's one that might be a quick one. We should play it out on. Did you see that a mom came and said that she was changing her
Oh,
kid's
yeah, I
diaper and
saw
got
this.
punched and knocked out?
Yep, yep.
Did you
Looks
let's
bad.
play it. Let's play her talking.
Okay, let me see. Here it is. Okay, yeah. So this is getting some, this woman claims she was
7-month-old.
her baby was stolen from her outside a grocery store or something. Here you go.
Begging you, please, if anything, if you know anything, please, I'm just begging you, bring him back. I took him out of the car seat and I laid him on the chair, and I had his diapers right here, and then someone said hola, and I couldn't even turn, and I don't remember nothing. I got up off the floor and I didn't see my child. Someone took him from me. I came back to get my phone and call 911. I ran the whole perimeter and there's nothing here. I didn't see him. I didn't see nothing. Nobody saw nothing. There's no cameras here. There's no lighting.
To the person who took my son, please just give him back to us. We'll forgive you. We won't bother you. We just want our baby boy.
He has little wavy hair and light brown hair, so soft, like a feather. Beautiful brown eyes. Beautiful baby, energetic, very playful, very happy.
Don't hurt him, and please feed him. Take care of him.
Please don't hurt him and protect him and just bring him back to his parents that love him.
Okay.
So that baby's unfortunately toast, right?
Probably. I mean, it looks like now there's a bunch of doubt being cast on her story.
Even the Ola. You remember there was that mom, that wife, the mom that claimed that she got kidnapped by 3 Hispanics. They threw her in the back of a van and had her chained up and stuff.
Yeah.
But it turns out she just went and slept with her ex-boyfriend and stuff. There's been other cases where they've done that. It's always trying to pin it on the Hispanic-speaking person. Well, who says hola and then knocks you out? I don't want to be laughing at this one because I think that kid is for sure Casey Anthony, right?
Probably.
I think that's
That's what it looks. I mean, because there's some questions about her story already, it looks like she's probably just lying.
And not one actual tear shed by. They did. It felt to me too like there's a fake panic.
Me too. If we're wrong, then
the girl
I'm
is
sorry.
next.
But
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I am. But look at this. People are calling, of course, right away, going, "This doesn't make sense." Here's the update already.
Napping of a 7-month-old baby out of Yucaipa. Emmanuel Haro's mom says she was in a Big 5 parking lot changing his diaper on Thursday when someone hit her on the head, knocking her out. When she came to, her baby was gone. Deputies now say there are inconsistencies with the mother's initial statement and cannot rule out foul play. The baby's grandparents have also been interviewed. Search dogs were unable to pick up a scent in the area where Emmanuel disappeared. He was last seen wearing a black Nike onesie.
So yeah, I mean, the cops are like, she's already.
we're gonna have an update on this one by next show. I got a terrible feeling.
Me too. She's gonna be in jail probably.
Yeah. All right, Nate, let's open with the fake food next week. Unless this Ukraine-Russia war really does come to an end, we have to give Trump the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
That's happening right now, by the way. There's a big meeting, and it's kind of
I saw some of it.
The media is trying to. At least it's been long. I think it was almost still going by the time we went live, but media tried to make a big deal of it because Trump paused the meeting to go and call Putin and stuff.
Think how many neckbeards are going to be disappointed to hear the war's ending since they were about to go join.
Every European ruler, all of them want this war to go on. Sure. Israel wants this war to go on because
fat Redditors want the war to go on.
Yeah, fat Redditors. Yeah,
so
they want this war to non-stop.
Yeah, the Ghost of Kiev's out there still. Dude, speaking of that, I've sort of, for the first time, I've been watching Sam Hyde YouTube videos and stuff. And he's pretty funny.
Do people know why you're bringing up Sam Hyde when it comes to
Probably
Ghost of
not.
Kiev?
Yeah. Because Sam Hyde was the Ghost of Kiev.
People I don't remember, rumors started soon after about this Ghost of Kiev. He was this lone air fighter that was just downing Russian air fighters, and just him alone was killing so many of the Russian Air Force that they were gonna be fucked, basically, all because of this one guy. There's a comedian. Look at this. This is Adam Kinzinger. Adam Kinzinger falls for it. There's a meme whenever any terrorist act happens, they put this comedian in it, and they say that he did it. Like the Oklahoma City bombing, they'll say, here's the passport of the Muslim terrorist Samuel L. Heisending. They'll change his name a bit. And so the Ghost of Kiev was the hot thing, and everyone with the brain starts going, okay, this is a true story.
Did we call that? You and I called that on the show
instantly.
Like, the first day. We were like, what a bunch of shit this is.
The New York Times and the Washington Post was still running. They were still running stories going, the Ghost of Kiev is giving the whole world hope. And if one guy could take down the reports are he's up to 19 planes. As they said, reports are he's up to 19 down planes. Think of
that was a real story
planes.
From our media. Dude.
Yes,
that was they were pushing that like it was real.
Do you think they apologized or doubled down?
Yeah, they've never apologized. They probably still admit
he's
the
opposite.
There. He's still out there.
They did the opposite. When it was proved that it wasn't Samuel Hyde, they said, "Well, hey, this is a story that really needs to be told to give the fighting spirit back to the Ukrainian people."
Even though it's a lie.
And you know what? If he doesn't exist, the Ghost of Kiev is all of Ukraine because they're holding back all of Russia. So they're all the ghosts of Ukraine, you racist. Dude, what's funny about it is they're supposed to be the anti-Nazi people. And the Azov battalion, the Ukrainian army is just filled with actual real-life Nazis. The New York, I think it was the New York Times, finally admitted that they had to ask the soldiers to remove a lot of jewelry and insignia because it's Nazi insignia, and they still won't. Whereas if they were real reporters, let's say they were going to a Trump rally. Do you think they'd ask a bunch of people at a Trump rally if there was actual Nazi paraphernalia they're wearing? Would they ask them to remove that?
No, they would be handing it out.
That'd be the focus of it.
Yeah.
So why, if they're supposed to be if they're supposed to actually really be journalists, they're supposed to be non-biased journalists, why is it they would focus on that at a Trump rally? But then when they're going and taking pictures of the Ukrainian servicemen and women, why is it then that they're asking to remove it and they're purposely not showing it?
Yeah, it's almost like they have an agenda.
Do you think they know better than you? Yeah, exactly.
Garrett, you gotta read what Adam Kinzinger says here.
Adam Kinzinger. So somebody says, let's go talk about how ridiculous the photo was. This is obviously, who took this picture? Who took this? That goes to Kim's finally found. We have a picture of him in the cockpit. He's got a perfectly square head. The Ukrainian ace fighter pilot, known as the Ghost of Kiev, real name is Samuel Hyde, a 36-year-old who was identified as the MiG-29 pilot, accredited with downing 6 Russian jets. Adam Kinzinger, the never Trumper, the retard you guys see on MSNBC every night, says the ghost of Kiev has a name, and he has absolutely owned the Russian Air Force. Godspeed and more kills, Samuel. Look how he spells his name. Yeah. But I love how he puts in capital letters. Owned.
Yeah.
This guy is a representative, right? He's an ex-representative, or is it a representative?
Slava Ukraina, or whatever they said.
What is a retarded? You're talking about COVID being a retarded time. The COVID retarded times was killed by the Ukrainian retarded time, basically. There's always had to have been the next retarded thing.
It's great how much they go together hand in hand. Like the people on X tweeting would have a picture of a mask, a picture of a trans flag, and a picture of a Ukraine flag. Like all these people are in a cult. They always accuse MAGA of being in a cult, but they're such, in line with what they all say.
They say that, but look at Mike Johnson is almost universally hated by MAGA. And there's a ton of people that are just hated by MAGA. That if it was a cult, it would be the opposite. Everyone would fall in line and they'd love him because he's team Republican and he hangs out with Trump. But he's universally hated, other than Trump. Trump loves him. So that just shows you that it's not a cult. Yeah. It's the opposite, really.
But the fact is that the trans Slava Ukraine, wear a mask, 6 feet, get 19 vaccines every 2 weeks. That's a cult. It's a weird cult.
There's a Reddit post I remember in 2022 where somebody said they used to start a thread saying this coffee shop I went in, the workers weren't wearing a mask, and it would take off and it'd go viral.
Yeah.
Somebody made a thread saying this coffee shop I went into, nobody's wearing a mask. Can you believe it? And someone posts, who cares? Slava Ukraini or whatever. Basically just signaling, hey, that's old news already.
Oh, yeah,
we have something better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's so crazy.
It's that they brainwashed you meme, where the guy's this one. Yeah, here you go.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah.
There you go. Black Lives Matter, Facebook, all the corporations on the guy. And then here's your boy with the American flag.
I always bring that up. That they still act like they were the counterculture. They were but
they think they are. They still think they are.
They had the exact same views as government, as Facebook, as Hollywood, as basically everything. They're the exact same, but there's a resist.
Resist. Yeah. They're just marching so much in line with the corporations, including Big Pharma. Yeah. But it doesn't register to them.
People were getting Merck tattoos, and they were supposed to be the ones. Remember, old marshmallow brains Biden's out there saying, "We beat Big Pharma." There's never been a time where Big Pharma got as much taxpayer money as they got during COVID. They were just getting dumped on with billions of dollars. And at the same time, we have the president who's giving them the money going, we beat Big Pharma. They're acting like that's the enemy, but they're getting tattoos. They're getting tattoos of their Johnson & Johnson injection card and stuff.
Yep. It doesn't even register to them, how it doesn't make sense.
No. Nope.
Garrett, I think we did a good show. About an hour and a half.
Yeah, we got to do it. We're going to open up with some really crazy food stuff next time.
Yeah, Bill Gates' fake food agenda on top of his block out the sun and depopulate the earth agenda.
Speaking of, did you see Beyond Meat just went bankrupt?
I saw that their stock was plummeting. I didn't see they went bankrupt.
Yeah, that's why. They declared bankruptcy. Yep.
Good.
We'll save it, though. We got to talk about it next week. Yep.
All right, everybody, thanks for
tuning
in.
That's Ned, Miggles, Box Bar, Adam and Stove.
Yeah, thanks for
Everyone
chatting.
Everyone else out in Twitter land. Yep. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Yeah, had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stopping. Educating, entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in, let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. The Nate and Garrett Show.